Hello, my name is Adam, and I'm on a quest to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. And today I'm reviewing the 1941 screwball comedy called The Man Who Came to Dinner. I'll tell you who it stars in a moment, but I'd like you to stick around until the end and let me know what you think about the movie and about my review. You can do that by liking and subscribing, of course. So it stars Betty Davis, Ann Sheridan, Monty Woolley, Jimmy Durant, and Billy Blake. It is based on a play from 1939 called The Man Who Came to Dinner by Moss Hart and George S. Kaufman, and it's directed by William Keighley. What did I think about this movie? I have to say that this is the worst Betty Davis film that I have ever seen. And it's probably one of the worst films I have seen in this project. And I gave it 1 out of 10. And I think the big reason for that is something that I have experienced when trying to review Charlie Chaplin films for my channel, which is comedy doesn't translate over time. And I don't think that comedy translates over culture also. So this is a style of movie that was like very, very popular at this time. And the writing, at least the Barbs, the main character says, are pretty intelligent, but only rarely did I think that they were funny. So basically, the plot is that there's this famous writer, and he's so famous that people want to talk to him, from like Haile Selassie to the English royal family to Winston Churchill to all of these Hollywood celebrities. He knows everybody. So he's on this kind of like tour, and he gets invited to the home of some local dignitaries, and he slips on some ice. He injures himself, so he has to stay at this place, and he forces himself basically on his dinner hosts, and he says basically that he's going to sue them for a lot of money because he has to stay there and the ice wasn't kept clear or whatever. So he does have kind of a point that they might be a little bit liable, but he really overstays his welcome. He is there for like 6 weeks or something, and he basically takes over their lives because he's a bit of a tyrant. And his name is, it doesn't really matter because I don't want you to watch this film, but uh, his name is Sheridan Whiteside, and Betty Davis plays his secretary, um, Maggie Cutler. And Maggie Cutler is his secretary, and basically she meets the editor of the local newspaper, and they fall in love. And Sheridan, uh, what's his name? Sheridan? No. Um, yeah, Whiteside basically, the bad guy or the crazy guy, he he's he's afraid that he'll lose his secretary, and they've been together for 10 years, so he doesn't want to break in a new secretary. So he starts scheming ways to keep to break up the engagement, right? And yeah, that's basically the plot of the film, and it's heavily layered with all of this like ridiculous scenarios, and it's kind of stupid, but there are a few funny parts, at least for me, where Whiteside keeps getting these gifts And they start out kind of normal, but they get wackier and wackier. Like he gets a mummy's sarcophagus, and he gets like some penguins and an octopus, and that's kind of funny, kind of like really surreal. Um, but and his personality basically is to insult everybody, but he's supposed to have like this heart of gold, and you don't really see it. I mean, he makes two good decisions at the end, but he's so he's so annoying. And maybe that's why I didn't like the movie so much. He's just this very annoying personality, and he is the center of the movie. And Betty Davis, one of my favorite actresses I've discovered. How does she perform in this movie? She's not bad for the part that she's given. She plays this like sort of sassy character who doesn't take any gruff from anybody. And it's really weird because Jezebel was only 4 years before this, right? So Jezebel, she's playing this sort of stuck up teenager character whose actions lead to dire consequences for the people surrounding her. And this, she is like clearly in charge of her own life. And she has this tyrannical boss. And she has this great scene where she kind of really lays into him like, you think you were, I used to think you had a heart under there. And it's a great speech. Yeah, so it's okay, but it doesn't really forgive the rest of the movie. And also, she has this really odd hair. Like, I think that speaking about Joan Crawford, and you can't really talk about Betty Davis without speaking about Joan Crawford, but Joan Crawford was always imagined as having this sort of architectural hair, but in this movie, Betty Davis really does have architectural hair. It's like layered and stuff and in a bun, and it doesn't look great. It looks like it was hard to do, but it does not look great. And also, then they have Jimmy Durant as this kind of sidekick character who comes in and he says these lines that are supposed to be funny, but I don't get it, because I didn't grow up listening to Jimmy Durante, but it's like he comes on and I think like the audience would be like, oh, Jimmy Durante. It's kind of like Jack Black in the Minecraft movie where he's like, Flint and Steel, and everybody's like, Flint and Steel, and you're like, what are you talking about? I think people 20 years from now, 30 years from now, are going to be in the same position as I was watching this movie about the Minecraft movie, but that's a different subject entirely. Yeah, so it kind of, I don't know. There was another movie like that recently that I reviewed, but I don't really remember what the movie was, and probably it was a better movie than this one. So yeah, I give it 1 out of 10 stars, but what do you think about the movie? Do you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? Would you watch it despite what I said? I would say watch it at your own risk. So I'm still going to watch a lot of Betty Davis movies. But yeah, and I was surprised that this was considered one of her top 25 movies because, in my opinion, it's not. I would say it's one of her worst movies. Her performance in it is okay, so maybe they're not judging the movie, but the performance. So if you want to see a more unusual performance by Betty Davis, check out a movie from 1931 called Bad Sister. So that is her debut. She's not good in that one either, but I think the movie is much more interesting and a lot shorter than this one. All right. If you like my reviews, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100. and 50 subscribers by the end of January, and I have 131, so I believe it can happen. All right, thank you everyone. Bye-bye.